Guys, we are witnessing something that is epic in the making when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 and what my favorite company from Nintendo is going to do on this system, because Monolith Soft is in a flurry right now at this point, and I fully believe that the Monolith Soft developed massive Nintendo Switch 2 game that's coming is going to absolutely blow our minds based off of this new information and the fact that they are taking their time when it comes down to this. Monolith Soft, one of the greatest developers of all time, in my opinion. They delivered one of the greatest trilogies of all time, in my opinion, with Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, plus the excellent DLC packs like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Future Redeemed. And of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X is no slouch, especially the definitive edition with all of that sweet extra content and gameplay on the Nintendo Switch 1, and hopefully a 60 FPS patch on the Nintendo Switch 2. But we are going to look towards the future and what Monolith Soft is going to do, because there's some new information on their hiring that shapes exactly what we could potentially expect from this brand new Nintendo Switch 2 title. So let's go ahead and jump right into the topic here. Plus, we've got some other very interesting and great Nintendo Switch 2 updates when it comes to the viability of the system going forward and how it's going to do on the market. So let's jump into this here, guys. Shout outs to my man Stealth once again, putting out some information on Monolith Soft. So he says that Monolith Soft Tokyo is currently developing a large-scale RPG for Switch 2, so they are hiring like crazy. They've been using their social media to explain what each of the roles does in hopes of attracting talent. So I'm gonna put up all the different positions so you guys can see exactly how massive this is and what Monolith Soft is doing. You've got application programmers, project managers, 3D CG designers, modeling TAs, all sorts of stuff to really get this game up and going and attract the best that they can possibly attract in order to get this game going. And that's what's super exciting about this. You want to see that they have the health when it comes to bringing in new talent, that they've got the money to make sure that they can fund what they're trying to do. And what this says a lot about exactly what's going to be happening with this next game from Monolith Soft. So what this tells you is that not only is development been going and ongoing and obviously great, but they are really ramping up and clamping down exactly where this game is going to fall in place, which I've talked about a number of times. I feel that Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that game was essentially finished up in 2021. Nintendo was actually able to move the release date of the game, so we know that it had been finished for quite some time, because when you move the release date, that's obviously shifting a lot of the marketing, that's shifting so much different stuff that you have to do with the game in terms of the rollout of content and rollout of just people seeing the game. So the game had been done. So I do feel that they've been working on a new game, a new title, probably since late 2021, very early 2022. So if you're looking at the flurry of the rush of hiring people, that's when you know that they're really trying to get this game finalized and set to where they know exactly when it's going to be ready, because you add in those people as development not only hits its apex and peak, but then also to push yourself past the finish line. It happens all the time. Retro Studios did this quite a bit with Metroid Prime 4, and some people thought that, oh man, they're still hiring, that means that the game is nowhere near done. It's like, no, that's not the case. They're actually hiring more because they've hit the peak and they're on the downhill, kind of like, okay, let's get this thing finished up so we can have a release date, or we can have something to where we say, hey, it's done, so they can find a release date for the game. So I think that's what's happening right now with the brand new big RPG from Monolith Soft. They are absolutely trying to lock down and get past that finish line to where we could see a new Monolith Soft reveal, maybe even as early as next year. Now, it is possible that maybe it's the one more thing at a big fall Nintendo Direct, but I do think that next year we'll see our first glimpse of the brand new Monolith Soft title. That would give it a number of years, from 2022, 23, 24, 25, and then into 26. 4 years or so, depending on kind of how you look at it. I think that's around what they're probably looking for to make a brand new big game. They've got a lot more people on staff now at this point compared to when they first started Xenoblade 2 or when they first started Xenoblade 3's development. So I do think that this is definitely positive news overall for Monolith Soft's next RPG, and it's going to be a big one, man. This is going to be something awesome. I've spoke about this quite a number of times. Like, is it going to be a brand new IP? Is it going to be a Xenoblade game? And we just don't know at this point. It could be either or. It could be a Xeno something else, like Xenosaga to Xenoblade. Obviously, not quite the same type of game overall, different games, but has certain flares and certain things that are similar. I think it could be something like that, where they go in a completely different direction, but call it Xeno something else. Or it could just be a brand new IP. Because Mr. Takahashi, the lead over at Monolith Soft, did state that this is a very different type of RPG than they've ever created. So even if it was a Xenoblade or Xeno something, it's not going to play like the previous Xenoblade games. It's going to be very different compared to what they did. So I'm very interested in seeing exactly what they have cooking for us, because Monolith Soft always makes incredible stuff. And if you look at the type of power that they have access to with the Nintendo Switch 2 compared to what they had with the Nintendo Switch 1, with the Wii U, man, it is like a night and day difference. They're going to cook on this system, man. Like, this is probably the best opportunity for them to really show what they can do from a power and efficiency standpoint with a system with portable play in addition to home console play. I think it's going to be great, and they're going to fully take advantage of the system in unique and fun ways. But what do you guys think about this when it comes to Monolith Soft and this big update that we had for them? Let me know in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. I'm going to discuss what's going on with Amazon and how Nintendo and Amazon have finally linked back up. And I think that this is a huge deal when it comes to the sales of games and hardware for Nintendo. Amazon is a massive entity when it comes to selling products. People buy all sorts of stuff on Amazon. And of course, if you can have your products on Amazon, it definitely gives it a better opportunity to sell well. Now, Nintendo and Amazon have had an on and off relationship when it comes to what's been happening and having their games on there, then not having it, and kind of going back and forth. There's been some rumors about how there was sellers that were selling games underneath a certain MSRP price, so that made Nintendo upset, and Amazon and Nintendo both came out and denied that, but that's irrelevant at this point. What's relevant right now is that Amazon is offering a first chance to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 here in the US. So they're finally getting systems back on there, and this is big. So it's essentially an invite system to where you can go claim an invite, and then when it's available to go, if you're selected, you will receive an email that's valid for 22 hours, and then you can actually purchase the system. Now, this is just the first round of invites. If you don't get it within that 22, your request is still eligible for future rounds. You don't have to submit another one. So we'll see how that all works out. And Amazon does note a number of things here. They're not going to be able to grant all the requests. There is a lot of demand. People are clicking to request overall, and there are limited quantities. So Nintendo Switch 2, once again, Nintendo Everything is writing about some of this, saying that it's been hard to get in some areas. There are some countries where it is easier to get, but for right now, when it comes to the US and when it comes to Japan, it's definitely harder to pick it up in certain areas overall. So there's going to be a ton of people that want to buy a Nintendo Switch 2, especially for the holidays with family. We're getting closer and closer towards Christmas and people starting to buy things. I think that if you're an aunt, uncle, brother, sister, whatever the case is, Switch 2 would probably be a great present, right? For, you know, whoever your loved one is, or even for yourself when it comes down to it. So I think that's what's happening right now. There's going to be a lot of people that say, okay, I want to get this Switch 2 from Amazon if I can. So it is limited, and there's going to be a lot of demand overall, especially from a retailer as big as Amazon. So this is a positive momentum thing for the Nintendo Switch 2 to keep sales going overall. We've been seeing what Donkey Kong Bonanza is doing, topping the Amazon charts when it comes to new release or pre-orders of the game, but absolutely something good going forward. And hopefully things kind of all work out with the pricing, because things are looking a little bit spooky right now when it comes to the tariff situation. And if you can pick one up now before potential price increases, it could be something to look into. So What do you guys think when it comes to Amazon giving people first chance to buy Nintendo Switch 2 and the ramifications of that? Let me know in the comment section below. And moving on to the final topic, I wanted to go over this just because there is a nice sale when it comes to certain games that I like a lot on Nintendo Switch 1 and potentially play better on the Nintendo Switch 2 depending on the game that it is. So I want to go over that. It's the US Summer Deals sale. And this sale gives you about 20 bucks off of pretty high profile games: Mario, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, Pikmin, and Kirby. So there's a number of different games, plus there's a sale on the eShop as well. So if you're looking to play something for the summer, something pretty cool, I have to recommend a couple of these different games. Now, the summer deals at participating retailers: $20 on select Nintendo Switch games while the supplies last. And the games are Super Mario RPG, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Pikmin 4, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, and Splatoon 3. So some people I've seen online talk about, oh, these deals aren't enough, some of these games are old, and I completely understand. But for Nintendo games, a lot of times people say that they never get sales or discounts, and we've got one here. I highly recommend Super Mario RPG. I think this game has so much charm with the remake. I think that it's so much fun, and it's got some of the best HD rumble out there. And it is a little bit easy. There is even an easier mode in the game. There's normal, then there's easy, but the game's even easier than what it was before because they have the new chain attacks and stuff like that, and you can swap out characters when you want, and they got different triple team attacks and stuff. But there are some post-game bosses that are harder than what we saw in the original game. So I did really enjoy it, and like I said, I think it has some of the best HD rumble. And on Nintendo Switch 2, it's pretty much ironed out any of the frame rate issues that it had in certain sections. It normally ran at 60 FPS and all the time in battle, but there were sometimes out of battle and cutscenes where it didn't. So that's all smoothed out on the Nintendo Switch 2 if you're buying it on there. I also have to recommend Splatoon 3. I think that game is awesome. And the best thing about Splatoon 3 out of this lot here is that I got a really nice update. It got a great update on the Nintendo Switch 2. So even if you play that original game, you can get 60 FPS in the Plaza. That used to run at 30, and you're going to get DLSS 4K resolution. That's pretty much a pixel match for that. So you're going to get a very clean and nice looking game on a big TV. It's going to run great as well. So the graphics just look as good as they possibly can. Plus it runs super smooth, and the gameplay is just great. It's got single player and it's got multiplayer. Splatoon 3 is the total package without all of the microtransactions that you see in other multiplayer shooters. So I highly recommend Splatoon 3. I also highly recommend Super Mario Odyssey. I know a lot of you guys have already picked up this game, but if you haven't, that also got a free update just like Splatoon 3 did, and it looks so much better running on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's so clean. The game's art design is incredible. So if you're someone who maybe missed out on the Nintendo Switch version and you have a Nintendo Switch 2, you can pick up Super Mario Odyssey and play that before Bonanza and see what the Mario Odyssey team is all about when it comes down to it. So it's great. It's a really good game, and I'm actually trying to get back into it myself, but I just have so many different games to play. There's so much backwards compatibility and new titles coming out. It's just crazy in terms of I don't have enough time to get through everything that I want to play. So for me, if you're combining what you're getting with the Nintendo Switch 2 lineup that's coming out this year and also the backwards compatibility, that is just super compelling overall, and one of the better things I would think that Nintendo has done when it comes to features, just because obviously there's some stuff that's not so great. You have the $80 Mario Kart, you have some other things, but I would say backwards compatibility combined with actually having some sales here and the game's getting better too, which I didn't think Nintendo would do. That creates a whole new wrinkle when it comes to there actually being sales and value for the system overall. At least in my opinion, I've been having a blast going back and playing some of these games, especially if Nintendo does some work to them. I know that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is not on this list, but that had a lot of work done to it, just like Splatoon 3 and Super Mario Odyssey. That plays so much better now on the Nintendo Switch 2. So take advantage of these deals when they do pop up, considering Nintendo doesn't always have a lot of these big sales going on, or sales really at all. And whenever they do, it's usually like the fall or it's summer, and there's certain eShop sales. But first party games don't go on sale too often overall. So take advantage of it if you want to play some of these great ones. So What do you guys think about all the different things that we talked about here when it comes to the sales, in addition to Monolith Soft and Amazon? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my vids as soon as they drop. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.